have our participants in our Zoom. I would like to say hi. Well, I'm not sure. Okay. Thank you. All right. And okay. Okay. Balik. Okay, so we have very cheerful students. So sorry about that. This is really good. I also invite actually. So I have refugee students. Some of them are here to follow along with the presentation because basically today we're going to talk about personal branding. Right. Well, it's so. Jadi teman-teman di sini kita akan profesor tesnya akan full bahasa Inggris. Jadi kita sambil belajar listening skill ya. Tapi nanti ketika di sesi tanya jawab, jadi sebelum sesi tanya jawab, aku akan menjelaskan paling nggak summarize gitu ya apa yang kemudian disampaikan. Tapi sudah aman ya, maksudnya you can understand English, right? Little bit, that's fine. At least in terms of listening skill, right? Tapi kemudian nanti kalau misalkan pertanyaan bisa dengan bahasa Indonesia, nanti aku bantu untuk translate lagi ya. Kayak gitu. Tapi seperti yang ada di poster, kurang lebih hari ini kita akan ngomongin soal making your presence in social media, tapi terutama LinkedIn sebetulnya gitu. Ini untuk teman-teman semester 5 terutama karena ini sejalan dengan apa yang diinginkan oleh lab sosiologi, yaitu bantu teman-teman tentang kehidupan pasca kampus, dan salah satunya tentu adalah untuk mempersiapkan hal-hal ini ya, untuk bantu pekerjaan kalian gitu. Mungkin teman-teman tidak akan sampai ke level content creator yang pelajari di sini yang bisa bantu kalian anggaplah untuk mempromosikan dan semoga bisa dapat jejaring yang lebih luas untuk kesempatan karir maupun kesempatan akademik. Kesempatan akademik itu luas ya, bisa beasiswa, bisa exchange opportunities, bisa volunteer opportunities kayak gitu. Itu sangat luas sekali. Dan ada nggak teman-teman yang mau jadi researcher nggak? Researcher, Avel lah. Reza Avel hadir juga Yurgi, mantap. Oke. Tapi ini bisa juga jadi untuk karir yang lain ya. Kayak gitu. Okay, so welcome also for our Zoom participants. We're going to talk about personal branding, and it's going to help you kind of with how you can improve and promote yourself in social media. Where should I? Okay, there. All right. So first of all, I'm going to introduce you to our speaker here. We bring him very far away from Australia, so it's a really, really, really nice to have you here with us in this room. Sifi, this fine. Yeah. Okay. So this is our Professor Ritesh Chuk. How do you say that? Chuk, Ritesh Chuk. Okay, Ritesh Chuk CV. So he's Ilgi can go back to yes. Okay, so he's an associate professor in School of Engineering and Technology, and also the Center for Research in Equity and Advancement of Teaching and Education, and Center for Intelligent Systems. So basically, the educational background is system information, if I'm not wrong. But then Professor Rites also have a lot of concerns in education, management, organization. So basically how system information related and have the influence to all of these aspects. And you are also active in your university, if I'm not wrong. Jadi untuk pengalaman Profesor Rites sendiri, beliau backgroundnya sebetulnya sistem informasi, tapi kemudian banyak aktif di pendidikan, manajemen organisasi, manajemen universitas overall kayak gitu ya. Jadi dan while he also is a very experienced researcher, jadi sudah banyak sekali penelitian yang sudah dikerjakan. Jadi sangat aktif juga sebagai peneliti. Dan karena itu bisa kita bilang koneksi beliau pun sangat luas ya gitu di dalam dunia akademisi sendiri. Mungkin di sini teman-teman tidak semuanya akan jadi akademisi, tapi semoga ilmu-ilmu yang beliau akan sampaikan nanti itu bisa kalian terapkan ke apapun yang akan teman-teman kerjakan nanti setelah lulus ataupun sebelum lulus bahkan kayak gitu ya. Oke. So we are not. I'm not going to take a lot of your time, of course. I'm going to give the stage to you. Of course, you can all of the space freely. So welcome to Professor Lites.
Can you hear me clearly? Do I need a microphone?
I think you need to support the Zoom. Not, sometimes not really comfortable.
You don't have a lapel mic? Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I'm not used to holding a mic because usually I think my voice is loud enough, but unfortunately, we have a few people. So thank you for the warm welcome. Australia is far away, not too far. It's only 7.5 hours flight, but it's not too far. So usually when I'm in my class, I don't let this front row empty. I don't allow it. So whoever wants to come, can you? I will handle all of this now. So can you please hear? You don't have to be shy. I don't bite. So you can come and sit here. You shy? Well, come. See, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seats here. Come on. Be brave. Come on. So usually it's the naughty kids who are in the back in the class. So unless you're naughty, no? See all these 5 chairs, they're feeling neglected. No? All right. Okay, that's okay. That's all right. Good. See, well done. Good. Well done. Can we please have my first slide? And my first one. Good. So, Ritesh Chugh, associate professor in ICT. I work at Central Queensland University, which is Australia's largest regional university. We have a large footprint in Australia. I work for the School of Engineering and Technology, but today I'm here to talk about social media because I've done a lot of research in that area, and that's why I have a close affinity to it. One of the other things I would also suggest is try Googling me up. And I'm not trying to be boisterous here, but it's a reality of today's day and age. So when I say try Googling me up, the reason for that is discoverability is important. We need to ensure that we are discoverable. People need to be able to find us because, we cannot live in a shell anymore. I've often heard people say that I am an introvert, right? So some of you feel that way, but so, okay, for those of you who feel that way, is it a problem sometimes? Sometimes? Do you often also feel overwhelmed when you have to talk to a lot of people? What do you think I am, an introvert or an extrovert? You think I'm an extrovert? See, and I've only spoken for 2 minutes so far. I've only spoken for 2 minutes so far, but I can tell you something, hand on heart, I am an introvert. For everything. Yes, that's my personality. But I don't let that come across to you, right? Because you all just said, I am an extrovert, right? You all just said that. So what that means is we have to train our mind. And for those of you who said you are an introvert, and you also said that you feel burdened if you have to talk to someone, Well, then social media is your platform to go and talk to people because it's not going to cause you that burden. Plus, you also have a platform to be able to express yourself, to showcase yourself, to ensure that the world knows about the work you do. And you're thinking, well, why do I have to tell the world about what I do? Why does the world need to know? Remember, I just said you can Google me up. I told you that. When you Google me up, you will go to the different tabs, right? All, images, photos, images, video, and you'll find information about me. News also. I've published in almost every mainstream newspaper in Australia, which means major newspapers. I've published articles in those newspapers. Sometimes people find me from my digital presence. So I've had journalists who most often contact me through my digital presence. Developing a digital presence takes time. And that's why it's important that I talk to you about that digital presence. Right? And you have to understand the importance of the digital presence. Now, I'm sure you already have some of your friends or peers who are quite active on social media. And sometimes you probably joke about those active ones and say, what the hell, they're always active on social media. But remember, they are not the problem. Maybe the problem lies with you. And that's why the choice of platform is important. If you go and look at my LinkedIn, I'm not posting photos of what food I ate last night. Choice of platform is important. Instagram, yes, you're taking food photos. Twitter, something important that has happened, you go and post on Twitter or X as it's now called. So the choice of platform is important. What you post and where you post is important. Now, you will probably laugh at what I'm going to tell you. I am not on Instagram. Right? Did I hear some vows? I am not on Instagram. I'm not on TikTok also. Now, I'm not sure whether someone will make a TikTok video of this video. Right? Now, if someone makes a TikTok video, I would love to see it. But I am not on TikTok, not on Instagram also. And you might wonder, my daughter says to me, Dad, you're not on Instagram. That means you're getting old. But I said to her, it doesn't work for me because I feel no need for it. I feel the need for LinkedIn. And today, primarily, I am only going to be focusing on LinkedIn because that's what you need to develop your personal profile. Your profile that will help you in your career. Your profile that people will see when you apply for jobs. And the more information you have on your LinkedIn, by the time you graduate, the better it will be for you. So you're thinking, well, what am I going to post on LinkedIn? You have to think. What to post is important, right? Maybe you're working on a group assignment with your peers or friends. Well, talk about your group assignment. Talk about your experience. Maybe you've developed a project. I don't know what sort of projects you're doing. So for my ICT students, if they have a portfolio, I say, well, go and talk about your portfolio because when you apply, the employer is going to be looking for it. So you have to think, I don't know what career path you're focusing on. Remember, you're obviously focusing on some career path, but where you want to be, what you want to do after you've graduated. Have you thought of that or not yet? Not yet. Okay. My daughter is in year 10. She already knows what she wants to do. And I'm serious. So if you're telling me you haven't thought it yet, I think it's high time. Because when we come to uni, we have a purpose in mind, don't we? When you start university, your choice of course, don't we do it for a reason? Yes, no? I mean, when you choose, so what are you studying? What's your degree called? What's the degree called? Sociology, Bachelor of Sociology. So what careers will it lead to? Huh? To researcher. Everyone wants to be a researcher. We need sociologists in the industry also, because private industry also needs sociologists. What else? Everyone researcher? No. What do you want to do? Does anyone want to go and work in Google and say, well, I've got sociology experience or an insight? Because Google also, when they're developing a software, they need to know how people use the software, and that's where they use the help of sociologists. So you need to focus on a career first. Is there a job recruitment website that is very common in Indonesia? A common job recruitment website? Job fail. Okay. Okay. Which is the most popular? Okay. So maybe what you should do when you have time, go and look for job titles and look at the number of jobs in that area. Right? Because you need to know which job. By looking at that number, you will have an idea of what you want to try and achieve. And please don't discard what I'm saying and say, well, this is not important for me now. Well, if it's not important now, it will never be important. And by the time you will finish graduation, and then obviously your stress will increase because everyone wants a job. Everyone wants a job when you graduate, right? So you need to focus on it. For those of you who said researchers, so what are you in your first year now, second year, or third year? My God, high time. Third year students not knowing what they want to do is problem. And some of you said you want to become researchers. How many of you have written a research paper so far? Not yet. See, researchers. That's a problem. You really need to, because pathway is important. If someone wants to take you into research, if you came to me and said, Ritesh, I want to do research with you now, I'll say, well, what have you done so far? What research have you done? So you focus on pathway. See, now you see how my discussion has moved from social media to career advice also. So now let's bring it back to track of how we can use social media for our own branding, right? And what to post is important. So you start thinking. Firstly, you have to start thinking. So how many of you are not on LinkedIn? Not on LinkedIn. You do not have a LinkedIn account. Hands up, please. Everyone has a LinkedIn account? You sure? Can we please go to my next slide? Can you just scan this? Take your phone out and please scan only. Just scan this part here. Don't worry about the other two QR codes. Just scan this QR code. What? So where has it taken you? Did it take you here? Yes. Everyone? Because you all said you have a LinkedIn account. Everyone? You've got to the page? See? I need everyone. I need to see it on your phone. I have to see it because you all said you have a LinkedIn account. That is my way of checking whether you actually have a LinkedIn account. So everyone's got it? Yes? Good. That's my LinkedIn profile. Now what you need to do next is you have to connect with me to start with. So there is a connect button, there's a follow, and there's a connect button. You can press either. Now, why am I asking you to connect? Have you got anything to gain from me? Huh? Relation, okay. Is there anything else you can gain from me? Information, good. What else? Opportunities. What else? Anything else? Jobs? Jobs. Maybe. I don't always have jobs, but yes. Anything else? Anything else? I'll tell you something interesting. Some of my students come to me when they apply for jobs and they say, can you become my referee? I don't say yes to everyone, right? Because I need to know the person good enough to be able to become the referee, because the purpose of a referee is to say good things about the person. When you connect with people on LinkedIn, you develop a relationship, and that might be your lecturer. It might be someone else you know who can then become a referee for you. Right? That's the purpose. But if you decide one day before your job hunt or you're submitting a CV that I need a referee, and you go and press the follow or connect button and you expect someone to become your referee, well, God bless you. It won't happen. Right? It won't happen. So you've only connected with one person so far. That was me. Right? Next, you could you could connect with her. She could share her. Connect with all of your classmates also. Because he might be working in Microsoft next year. You might be working in Google. She might be working in Deloitte. He might be working in KPMG. She might be a researcher in UIN. Right? But when she needs a reference or she needs help, she will obviously go to one of you here. She won't go to someone else outside. That's why that relationship is important. LinkedIn is Instagram, yeah, food photos, no problem. You can keep after graduation, she will see what she's eating, you will see what she's eating. It's not going to help. You need relationships. Because when you graduate, you can then contact the other person saying, well, I'm looking for a job. Is there a job opening? It might not be immediately after graduation. It might be 5 years after graduation also. Because you might say, I'm looking for a change of job. And then it's your contacts that become useful. But remember, all of this requires strategic planning. What I'm trying to help you today is to plan ahead. You have to think of the future, not think of today. But to improve tomorrow, you have to act today. That's why, and that's why my first question was, do you have a LinkedIn account? If not, my second was going to be, let's go and make an account. But I'm glad that you all have it. Now, okay. How many of you use it actively? Use LinkedIn actively? No one. Okay. From today, I want you to start using it actively. Like, seriously think, what am I going to post? Maybe something about sociology. It could just be, let's say, so in sociology, and I'm not a sociologist, but is there a common concept that you can think of that you study? Some theory in sociology that's important? Any theory? Abraham Maslow, do they talk about Maslow's theory in sociology? No? Aim? With him. Yep. Good. Marx? Okay. All right. It's okay, enough. Don't teach me sociology now. But maybe I want to know about these theories from your LinkedIn page. Okay. You all started giving me all these theories that I don't know. I want you to post about these theories tonight. Write 3 or 4 lines about the theory and post. You want people to read your post? Post an image also with it. But you're saying, well, why do you have to talk about theory? You're showing your expertise to the world. about your theory. You're also showing to the world how good of a communicator you are. You're telling people about your knowledge. That's what you have to do. Because, see, I'm trying to help you join the dots and say, well, what am I going to talk about? Because this is one of the things people often struggle with. The second thing you can also do is you can take a photo anytime today. Take your cameras out, take a photo of the session, of the slide, of me, because remember, it's professional network and you can post it on LinkedIn. But when you post, there are two things that you need to do. What are those two things? Always, you know Instagram better than I do. So who are you going to tag? When you post a photo tonight, who will you tag? If you're taking a photo of this session, who are you going to tag? Who? No, but who are you going to tag? You'll tag me, right? You're taking my photo. You forgot tagging me. My God. That's so funny. How will, okay. And if you don't tag me, I will never know. Right? But shouldn't you also be tagging your university? There's a, I think UIN LinkedIn page has about 40,000 followers. I think, well, I'm pretty sure it had 20 or 40, one of those two. But shouldn't you be tagging the university as well? You should, because you are associating, you are a student of the university. So you tag the university as well. Why do we use hashtags? What's the purpose of hashtags? What's the purpose of these hashtags? The purpose of hashtags is to help in discovery, which means when I am on a social media platform, if I went and searched hashtag UIN, it will give me all the posts that have about UIN. Hashtag CQ, which is where I work. So in other words, if someone went and hashtag CQ, they'll find all the posts. So tonight, when you're posting, what are you going to do? You can, guys, just listen carefully. You will take one photo today. It's your task homework. You will take one photo. You will write something about the session. Good, bad, ugly, I don't care. So, and the reason I say good, bad, ugly, and I'll tell you about that in the end. But you will write one sentence at least about something about the session. Something you enjoyed, something you didn't enjoy, whatever. Second, you will find hashtag, sorry, not hashtag, you will tag me, you will tag UIN, you will tag CQ. You will also use hashtags in that post. You will use hashtag UIN, you will use hashtag CQ. Now, when you try and search for CQ, you have to, obviously, you know how tagging works. @ symbol, at CQ University. It will show up. Now, what will happen as a result is, so how many of you are connected with each other yet? Not connected? Do you all know each other or not really? You know each other. So, yes, no? No. You know each other. Not, some people said not really. Right? That's fine. Okay, I'll tell you something interesting about not really. And this is interesting research. Research says that usually it's your second networks who come and help you when you need help. What that means is, if Zikri and I are good friends, he comes to me for help. I usually don't help him. But he knows her. Oh, sorry, he doesn't know her. But he sends a message. Say, I'm trying to look for a job. Is there something that you could help me with? She's most likely to help him than me help him. Second networks. So for those of you who said we don't know, well, try and connect. So today, this is homework, again, not homework, classwork. before you go, make sure you connect with each other. This will require a bit of work. So what is the work? You will have to find each other. So I'll tell you a simple strategy for doing that. This is a trick. So I'm going to show you the trick. Where's my phone? Some of you may know it, but I don't think you know it. Open your LinkedIn. So you have your LinkedIn open? I'll just open my home page. So LinkedIn, you can all you have all that open? Yes? Can you see the search bar at the top? There's a search bar. Just press on the search bar. Right at the top, you press on the search bar. You don't have LinkedIn? No? Okay. Well, you have? Oh God. Good. Okay. So once you press on the right hand side of the search bar, do you see a small symbol? On the right side of the search bar, you press that symbol. What happens? So what you do today is when the class finishes, sorry, can I just take your phone? Is he your friend? You know him? Not really. Good. All right, good. Same class. I'm telling you what you have to do, right? Good. See how easy it is to connect. So make sure you do that before you leave so you're all connected with each other. Okay. Now, so you see, I have different social media accounts here. I have Twitter, which is now called X. I have Facebook also. Don't worry about connecting there because I'm very active on LinkedIn. Although I have a joke about Twitter. So Elon Musk called it X, right? When the moment he called it X, I said it's going to become my EX, X, X. So ex-girlfriend, X. So X became my EX social media platform. I don't use it anymore. Bye. I still have it, but I don't use it actively. Next slide, please. Because remember I said choice of platform is important. So I'm not on Insta, doesn't work for me. I'm not on TikTok, I don't need it. Yeah. Will I be on Insta in the future? Maybe my daughter has been pushing me, so I might, but not today. So next slide, please. So here's the power of social media. They're essential tools for students. I've said educators and researchers because I was I was given the impression that there might be staff also. But I think that may have changed between yesterday and today. So it was only students. So some of it I will keep molding as I'm talking. But what we are trying to do through social media platforms is we're trying to share knowledge. Remember, I asked you to talk about something, your theory that you will write one line about. We're trying to build networks. Remember, you've just built a network of 50 people just now. And we're trying to raise your professional profile. Your professional profile. So actually this might sound silly, but I'll ask. Do you get teaching? Sorry, not teaching. Student awards here? Anyone gets? So when you do well in a subject, are there awards for students? Yeah, Student Achievement Award. There is, right? Okay. So let's say one of you gets a Student Achievement Award. Right? You have to talk about it. You have to come here and say, I got an award. Because remember, it's your platform to show what you have achieved. That's why. Why it matters? Why social media matters? over 4.5 billion people on social media worldwide. World's population is about 7 billion. Out of the 7 billion, 4.5 are on social media platforms. What they help us do, they help us enhance our visibility. The work that we do can be, you amplify it and you make yourself known. So we'll talk about some social media tools and what the pitfalls are and how we should navigate them responsibly. Next slide, thank you. So is YouTube a social media platform? Yes. Why? Why is YouTube? So why is YouTube a social media platform?
Oh, ini watching movie,
How is social then? Why is it social media?
social media. I have a social media, Instagram.
No. Why is YouTube a social media platform?
Oh, because I love it in the content in YouTube. Okay.
He loves it. But when we talk about a social media platform, what are we looking for in social media? Content, entertainment, there is something else. Social, the word social. No, connection. We're looking for connection. That's why the word social. When we talk to one another, we are connecting and we are enhancing our social connection. Any social media platform needs to offer that social connection. Now, my question was, is YouTube a social media platform? Yes, because initially when we were talking about YouTube, we said, yeah, video sharing platform. But it turned into social media because you can go to comments, you can comment about the video, you can comment on other people's posts, comments. So it becomes social. So online platforms that enable connectivity, communication, and collaboration. 3 C's: connectivity, communication, and collaboration. One of you tonight, or a few of you tonight, please go and talk about the 3 C's on your LinkedIn. Homework. Remember, I'm telling you homework also. So when you post tonight, talk about connectivity, communication, and collaboration. Please write it if you forget. Right? So you can talk about that. Social media sites have become popular, but as a researcher, I often use the word social networking site rather than social media. But commonly, we use the word social media. The reason is because social networking sites is only one part of social media. There is other types of social media platforms also, such as YouTube, which is a video sharing platform, Instagram, which started as a photo sharing platform, Twitter, which is a micro-blogging platform. Micro-blogging means you can only write a limited number of words. So micro-blogging. So all these different platforms collectively are known as social media. So we've started using that word. See, we used to have Google Plus, which has disappeared. We still have Pinterest. What is this? Oh, are you all on Snapchat? Oh my God. It's quite big in Australia. Snapchat is. See, what that also tells us is sometimes platforms can be based around country or region of where they're used more. Okay, I'll tell you something funny. How many of you use WhatsApp? WhatsApp. How many of you use WhatsApp? Everyone? In Australia, a lot of people don't use WhatsApp. And I'm serious. A lot of people in Australia don't use WhatsApp. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But the reason I'm telling you that is because Sometimes it's cultural differences. Sometimes it's about how popular the technology becomes in a place. Sometimes it's about adoption of the technology. Sometimes it's about utility. Is it useful for people? So that all has an impact on whether a tool is being used or not. Next slide, please. Thank you. All right. Sorry, can you just go back? Previous slide, previous slide, previous. Okay, now previous. Yeah. Rewind. Yeah, stop there. Okay. Now this is, you have to give me an honest answer. Okay, think about my question. Guys, everyone, excuse me, you listening to my question? Question is, and calculate in your head. Or even better, just check on your phone. How much time do you spend on Instagram every day? Well, lot. Instagram tells you, isn't it? I think Instagram has a functionality that tells you how much time. So can you please check, please? Guys, you have Insta? Can you please check how much time you spend on Insta? You don't? Yeah. Please. No phone? No phone? You have phone, right? You're not on Instagram? Check how much time you spend on Insta. And you know, sometimes what I do in my class, I move students around. So I think I'm coming to that stage where I'm going to move a few around. Yeah, daily average is good. Good. Daily average. So, how many of you got more than 2 hours daily average? More than 2? Yeah, Insta has a tool, right? 2 hours, 22 minutes. Did you find yours? No. Can you, excuse me, can you help find on Insta? So here, okay, if you don't know how to find
The time is oh my oh my god, guys. Okay.
Come here, can you come here? Come here. Come here. Okay. Bahasa, alright.
Oke, bahasain bahasa. Oke, jadi teman-teman buka profile kalian ya. Nanti ada kan 3 di bagian sini, ya kan? Habis itu kalau dalam bahasa Inggris itu time management atau waktu yang dihabiskan. Nah, iya benar itu kalau udah ketemu time management nanti bakal langsung kelihatan.
Thank you.
Oke.
Thank you. So, anyone 2 hours? I have a little bit about 2. 4 hours? 5? Okay. 1 minute? How is that possible? No, daily average. Daily average. All right, okay. So, can we now go to the next slide? Some of you said 1 hour, some said 2. So, let's assume 1 hour. Next slide, please. The global average, the global on social media. Remember, you only told us about Instagram so far. Maybe you're spending some time on Facebook, maybe WhatsApp, maybe YouTube. So the global average on social media is over 2 hours a day. See you, ma'am. Bye. 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 Next slide, please. Okay, just skip this one. This is not relevant. So, I have said you use social media to boost your career prospect. You use it to access academic resources and opportunities. On LinkedIn, you can also find groups. So, for example, there are groups on sociology. I follow groups on data science. I follow groups on ICT. I follow groups on artificial intelligence because remember on LinkedIn, it's professionals who are talking. So if there are things about sociology that you don't know and you want to know more, well, follow a sociology group. So you can go to LinkedIn, you use the search bar and say sociology group, and you look for groups. And what will happen is by looking at those groups, you will gain knowledge. Ultimately, remember at the start, what did I say? Information sharing and knowledge gaining. So you will get knowledge from LinkedIn also. And relevant to your subjects. Next slide, please. Okay, so why we need to use social media? Actually, before we look at this list, we look at this circle here, this pie chart. It's used to connect and communicate or stay in touch. Now you say, well, is LinkedIn used to stay in touch? Yes, no? Yes, the answer is yes. Because if I need to stay in touch with Zikri here, who works in the international office, I stay in touch with LinkedIn. Anyone I need to stay in touch with is LinkedIn. Nowadays, when I go to a conference, when I go to someone's office, I rarely give them my business card. I don't feel the need. And interestingly, even when they give me the business card, my first response is, can we just scan this quickly? Because business card, and trust me, when I go to meetings, when I come back from meetings, I have about 25 cards. Out of those 25, I don't remember their faces because the business card doesn't have their face. But LinkedIn, well, I know everything about them. And then when I need to contact them, I just send them a message on LinkedIn. So for communication. We also use it to get news. Now you say, well, do people talk about news on LinkedIn? Not really. But they talk about developments in that area. A new sociology framework. I work in the area of generative artificial intelligence. There's lots of discussions. So every time I need to know about anything new in generative AI, I come to know through LinkedIn because I know that my networks are always only talking about those areas. So our networks help enhance knowledge in that area. Develop new networks. You've all developed some new networks. And today, like I said, before you go home, you will connect with each other. So you're developing new networks. And that also doesn't mean you cannot follow other people. I don't know. In Indonesia, I'm sure there are recruitment consultants, right, who help find jobs. Am I right? You have recruitment consultants or not really? No recruitment consultants? No. But every organization has a human resource department, HR department. Go and find people in HR and just connect. So, you know, you will think, why do I have to connect with HR people? Because firstly, they will be in your network. Secondly, when they see you posting about content, they will know about you. And then when you apply for a job, you're not taking them by surprise because you've already shown them everything about yourself. You've shown them your professional side. So, and like I said, this takes a bit of work. It takes work. So please make sure you spend time. Share opinions and content, photos or videos. That's okay. I mean, when you go on my LinkedIn, you can see what sort of stuff I post. Okay, just to get an idea. Just go through my feed or go through my profile and see what is Ritesh posting about to get an idea. I'm sure you're all using social media for this. Fill up spare time. Or you're just feeling bored. So, and time flies when you're on social media, right? In Australia, whenever I'm traveling, I try and find an airlines that offers Wi-Fi. Because if the airline has Wi-Fi, my time flies. I can spend time on social media. I can also do work. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is we use social media to fill up spare time also. Now, if you're using LinkedIn, to fill up that spare time, it's good. Yeah, we can also find information about research products, which not relevant to you, and also find motivation. Motivation, looking at what other people are doing. Right? That is motivation. Don't look at it in a negative way. People are talking about what they are doing. They're not trying to poke you. Often we say, well, why is that person talking about their travel? Fine. Remember, they're not talking, they're telling you what they are up to. Whether you like it or not, that's your problem, not their problem. So yeah, you have to see it as motivation. And similarly on LinkedIn, you focus on that motivational aspect. So yeah, next slide, please. I've just given some popular social media platform. This stems from the work that I do with other researchers also. So these are pretty much the ones that we use for research purposes. LinkedIn for professional networking. We use X or Twitter for microblogging. I used to be quite active, but not anymore. Facebook for social networking. ResearchGate for posting about our research. Academia.edu for research and academic networking. And we've got Google Scholar, which auto-populates content based on research publications. Next slide, please. Are we good for time? Good for time. So here are some tips. And these tips are important because you need to ensure that you are following these tips. Number one, assess your current online presence. Today, you all agreed with me that you are not active on LinkedIn, right? That was the first step. We all assessed your online presence on a professional network. I didn't ask you to assess your presence on Instagram. We said LinkedIn. So we took the first step today, together. Your profile as an individual, you decide on what you want from your LinkedIn. Right? And that's what I said. Think of your career, think of where you want to go, think of with whom you want to connect, and think of why you're connecting with those people. And expand your network. I mean, when you have time, rather than spending time on Instagram, maybe go and look for people in your area. Maybe go and look for HR people. Maybe go and look for sociologists. Maybe there is thousands of sociologists who work in Indonesia. Maybe you find a sociologist and you say to them, I came across, and send them a message saying, I came across your profile, brilliant profile. Is it possible that I could get 10 minutes of your time because I want to understand something from you? No one will say no. I can guarantee you, no one will ever say no. You just have to be polite in the way you ask. And when you get to them, don't ask for a job because that is killer. Never in the first meeting, is at least. You can develop, remember, relationship. The moment you say job, they say, oh, now I know. So a relationship. Get to them for knowledge. You might even say, well, I'm doing this assignment and I'm trying to understand how this works in practice, whatever it might be. So you find ways of what you want from those people. Improve your outputs availability. So what you're expecting from LinkedIn, find out what's out there, put up what you can, and check your impact. Impact is also important. When you're posting, so I was telling Zikri yesterday, I posted something on LinkedIn last night, but last night is not a good time to be active on LinkedIn because the whole world is sleeping or going to sleep. People are usually active on LinkedIn during business hours, 9 to 5 p.m. because they're in their office, they have some spare time. So they say, okay, let me go to LinkedIn. So you have to choose what time you're posting on and see how it's working for you or not. And, you communicate and interact. You can use whichever platform works for you. So now here is some advice. Choose the right social media platform, create a suitable profile and add your photo. I will never accept friend or connection requests from people who don't have a photo on LinkedIn. Because I'm like, if you can't even put your photo up, how do I know who I'm dealing with? So a profile photo is important. Don't use artificial intelligence to make your photo, because it will kill your photo. And when you look at the person in reality, you say, well, this doesn't look like that person. And unfortunately, what also happens on LinkedIn is people don't change their profile photo often. My advice, at least change your photo once a year, because people change a lot. So focus on that. Are you okay? Sir, can you go to the back? Can you go to the back? Yeah, just go sit there, please. Just, yeah. Just go sit there. Just sit in the back. Please. So create a suitable profile and add your photo. Right? So photo is important. Why is photo important? Why is photo important? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Are you okay? You sure? Can you please promote your work? Don't be shy about talking about your work, whatever you're doing on LinkedIn. Okay, don't be shy at all. You pick up information about what you want to talk. And remember, I told you this: follow other people. Remember, you just followed me today. You follow other people in your area. Use hashtags so people can find information. Provide hyperlinks. You're not researching, so we'll skip that. Post regularly. Use visuals where appropriate. So photos. Engage in meaningful conversations and make social media part of your daily routine. So this is very important. You all said you're spending more than 1 hour. Spend 5 minutes on LinkedIn also every day. 5 minutes. So how many of you took a photo today? Did you take some photos of me? You took some photos, everyone? Because remember, you got homework. Yes? No? You got some photos? So keep taking whenever. Now, everyone not on this slide, but take photos, because I will come to know whether you're posting or not. I can see. And if I have time tonight, I will come and post on your, I will comment on your post also. Okay? So that way, what will happen is your discoverability will improve, because other people in my network will also see you. So, sorry, next slide, thanks. So what you need is you need a consistent and professional picture. I've told you that. You need a relevant cover photo. So you also should think about this photo here. This is called a cover photo. What are you going to put here? So in my case, obviously, I've got my signature there. I'm talking about the area that I work in. Yeah, if you scroll down, there is also a field for bio, where you talk about, so for example, you might say, I'm a student studying Bachelor of Sociology. I'm currently in my last term, and I'm also open to opportunities because I will be graduating in 3 or 4 months. Be discoverable. Don't hide yourself. Do not hide, because in LinkedIn, there is a setting in LinkedIn that says that search engines will not index you. Leave that on. Allow search engines to find you. Cross promote. So if you're in Instagram, maybe give yourself a shout out. Take your LinkedIn link, post it on your Instagram also, so your people can know that you're on LinkedIn also. Fine, that's okay. It's okay to cross promote. And obviously, in the end, see how it all looks, and make sure your social media profile, your social media profile is like your business card. Right? You don't need business cards anymore. This is your business card. Okay, next slide, please. So yeah, just some words of caution. Try to don't be negative on LinkedIn. Yeah. my advice to researchers usually is, particularly when you're working in an organization. So, for example, I work for the university. So when I'm working for CQ University, I have to be mindful of the organization's policies. That means I need to portray a good profile, a good image of the university also, because I don't want to put my workplace in bad light, right? So it's important that we are aware of an organization's policy. Regularly check your privacy settings. I'm not sure how many of you have actually looked at the privacy settings. Have you ever looked at the privacy settings on LinkedIn? No, obviously not, because you've just become active on LinkedIn today. So maybe you should go and look. Ration your time wisely. Ration means don't spend too much time on it also. You should know your audience and don't feed the trolls. Troll is someone who comes and bothers you on social media. That's called a troll. Troll means someone who's talking negatively on your social media profile. When someone talks negatively on social media profile, don't engage. Just keep quiet. Worst come worst, block them. Right? So it's the same here. You need to know how to handle trolls on social media. And, reflect and adapt. We all learn. So when you start using LinkedIn, you will see how important it is. It's working for you. So adapt your practice, adapt how you post, when you post, and so forth. Next slide, please. So ultimately, it's about being visible. Social media can lead to jobs and other opportunities. If you remember at the start, I asked you how many of you on LinkedIn, you were not on LinkedIn. So that means you were confused. You didn't know that it's necessarily going to work. So I think it's important that you reduce that ambiguity or confusion or unclarity that you have in your head and you start using it actively. Next slide. So I've already given you your homework. I told you, you take a photo, you post about something, you tag UIN, you tag CQ, and engage in that discussion. And I can guarantee you, the more you start using it, the more you will enjoy it, and the more benefit you will get, because what will happen? So when are you graduating? How much time left to graduate? 1 year still. Okay, so you still have got 1 year. Perfect timing, Ritesh. You're here on the right time. You've got 1 year. You've got 1 year to build your profile now, to build your online presence, because in that 1 year, you will feel proud of yourself and say, I was doing so many things professionally and I never talked about it. So you can talk about those things because they're the ones that will actually lead you to success. So see you in cyberspace. Next slide. And that's it. So don't stay invisible, become visible. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And I'm happy to take questions.
Okay, so is there any questions? Even our online audience, of course, you guys can ask questions, anything related to this platform, or maybe like something related to Professor Ritesh also, that's fine. Ada pertanyaan? Nggak perlu disummarize ya? You get what is it, right? Okay. Oh, ada yang komen? All right. Should we see? Oh, no, it's just they're answering.
Responding, I can see your response. Well done.
Yeah. Well done, Tahir. Thank you so much. All right. Anyone wants to ask? Ilgi, there's one question and we slightly discuss, right? I think you should ask that. That one. Yeah. Tanya aja. Okay, let's go, Mbak Im. Introduce your name, of course.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon. My name is Ibrahim. My question is, how do we can make our LinkedIn is some kind of Instagrammable in terms of like people nowadays see Instagram as the way people share anything about everything they want to share. Now, the question is, how can we take LinkedIn the same way as Instagram for our connection, for our seeking jobs, anything about it? Thank you.
Good question. Firstly, we need to understand that LinkedIn and Instagram are two different things. LinkedIn is for professional networking. Instagram is more for your informal networking, connection with family and friends. All of the things that I told you today are meant to focus on improving your LinkedIn profile. That can only happen when you start to post more. You post more about the things that you do. You post more about the activities that you engage in. And you have to think of those activities. And that's why I was giving you examples. I said, well, just think of a sociology, a theory. Think of a problem. So maybe there is a problem. And remember, because you will all be connected, maybe you could actually post a question. So a question could be, I'm struggling with this theory. Or maybe you might say, well, I read this news where they're talking about how people's psychology is being affected due to COVID. What are the solutions? So you actually pose questions also, because other people will engage in that discussion. So I think by regularly posting on LinkedIn it'll help enhance your social presence. Yes. Yep. That's how it's going to lead to visibility. Any other questions? You have a question?
Kami Kak, industri kami Kak. Hah? Boleh. Bilang aja nanti aku tanya.
Oke, pakai bahasa Indonesia aja teman-teman. Karena sejujurnya Inggris aku tuh jelek banget. Jadi sebenarnya mau tanya, pada akhirnya kan LinkedIn ini menjadi sebuah platform yang apa ya, seperti sebuah platform yang sebenarnya digunakan banyak orang-orang profesional gitu, kayak para HRD dan segala macam. Tapi bagaimana pada akhirnya pekerjaan itu justru malah mayoritas itu bukan datangnya dari LinkedIn ataupun dan segala macam, tapi malah melalui justru jaringan di luar dari LinkedIn-nya itu. Jadi kayak jaringan dari orang tua dan segala macam, justru malah jaringan real life di pertemanan ataupun dan segala macam seperti itu. Mungkin kayak gitu. Jadi
Translate that for me.
Yes, of course. So, okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Right. So he said that, well, although LinkedIn is the professional platform for usually used by human resource people and stuff, but then lots of the time people get jobs, at least in Indonesia, they get it from their real life, let's say real life connection rather than cyber connection, such as their parents and stuff. So
Okay.
what to do about that?
Okay, good question. I think there's a lot of subjectivity in your question also, because that's what you are seeing. But it's not always the case, because you have never explored the platform. The more you start using it, you will actually see. So for example, when you're on LinkedIn around your profile photo has got something called a filter that is called open to work. So the moment you set open to work, that means all your connection knows that you are open to work. And reason I asked you to develop those connections, you are saying personal network. It's not always your family. There is research that shows that it is your second networks who are the most helpful. And I'm not making that story. Remember, I said there is research that shows it. So when you're on LinkedIn and you are on LinkedIn, you've said, I'm open to work. So for example, a lot of my students, when they're looking, even for those who've graduated many years ago, the moment I see open to work, all I do is I will, repost their post. So what it does, it just shows it to my network, and then because my network is large, then people can see, well, does this person fit? Or sometimes what I will do is very simple. When I see an open to work post, what I do in the comment, I go and write CFBR. Now, what does it mean? Because see, you're not on LinkedIn, but you might know other things on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
But CFBR means commenting for better reach. So the moment I write CFBR, what LinkedIn's algorithm does, it shows that post to everyone else also. And that way, I'm increasing the visibility of. So I think it's a misnomer when you say that. What you really need to do is try it, see it for yourself, and then decide whether it works for you or not. And see, when you start to work, I mean, for those of you on LinkedIn, you have to go and populate your profile. Populate your profile means what school did you study in, what you're currently studying, which subjects you've completed. Because remember, it's your profile. Think of it as your CV, basically.
Thank you so much. It's it? Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Okay. My name is Salwa Chitra Syafitri. Okay. I'm Chitra.
Yeah.
My question is, I'm an introvert.
Yep.
Okay. Sometimes I'm embracing when I stand out or speak with many people.
Yep.
But and the main reason of my afraid is I afraid to make something embracing.
Yep.
To my school. Like when you post something in LinkedIn about a sociology theory, I afraid that
Yep.
I make a mistake in the post. So
Yep.
how to deal with that? Can you
Yes.
give me a solution?
Good point.
And maybe my friends will have the same feelings like that. So
Good question.
that's approved by my
Okay.
friends. Okay, thank you.
Good question. So remember at the start, my first question was, how many of you are introverts? Remember? Some of you said you're introverted. I also told you I am an introvert. Remember I said that? But most of you disagreed with me also. Right? And remember when I started, I only spoke for 2 minutes. Now I've been speaking for 1 hour. What do you think I am? Introvert or extrovert? Extrovert, but I'm not. Remember? So what that means is you actually have to train yourself. You have to find your own space and you say, well, if I'm writing something, what is the world? And this is how introverts need to handle themselves. The advice says that if you don't worry about what other people are thinking, if you know what you're doing is right, that is right. That's the best advice. And over time, you will actually become confident. You'll say, well, I've got my own space. Remember, any social media platform is your space. It's like your home, right? In your home, what happens? Do you feel introverted at home? No. When you're speaking to your parents, do you feel introverted? No. So, and that's why I said the same thing on social media. The only thing you need to do is if you feel you're being trolled, remember, block, don't respond, don't worry, move on. And by engaging on social media, you're not doing anything wrong. You are doing the right thing. So, and see, dealing with introversion is a total different topic, and it's a big topic. So when I'm presenting, right, I might say, well, I'm an introvert. I'm going to go to this new audience. I won't feel comfortable. If I come with those fears into the presentation, I will never feel confident. Right? So all you have to do is you signal your brain when you're feeling. So whenever the feeling of introversion crops in, you signal to your brain that I will be okay. I have not done anything wrong. I am confident. Just say those 3 things and it'll work. I can guarantee you that. But look, this is a psychology topic. I'm not a psychologist, but yeah. Any other question? Yes.
Okay. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Novel Fauzan Santoso. You can call me Novel. And I want to ask, for someone, it's still important for someone who's interested in creative media, such like a photography or videography, to increase their in profile. I mean, something like photography and videography is more concerned into social media like TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube. But I mean, it is still relevant, or maybe it's still important for someone interested in that to increase their LinkedIn account. Maybe that's all for me.
So I'm just trying to understand. Was there a question for me? What was the question? Because I felt it was more of a statement.
I just want to ask, is still important
What?
for someone who interested into creative media, a creative industry to improve their LinkedIn account? Yes.
Good. The wider you cast your net, the better it is. So what that means is the more presence you have, the better your chances of discoverability are. When you say creative media and photography, remember photography is not only for family and friends. Photography is also for corporate businesses. They need photographers too. So by showcasing your work or your portfolio on LinkedIn, you are reaching out to a wider audience who might say, well, okay, we've got this session. We need someone to come and do photography. And they saw your portfolio on LinkedIn. They will reach out to you. They are not necessarily looking on Instagram. So yes, please do that. Yeah. And portfolio is important for creative arts.
True.
Any other questions?
Any educations before we close the session? While the professor is here. Come on. No. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, Jaga.
So, I want to ask, I have an interest in musical activities, especially choirs, and I have the intention to become
Red one.
a professional in the future. Meanwhile, I need to brand myself as a student or graduate from this university professionally as well. So the question is, do I need to make two different profiles or not in so building my personal branding into different
No, on LinkedIn, you don't need two profiles. You just need one because it's your person. How can you be two different people? In his case, where he might say he's got his personal page, his personal profile, but if he's got a photography business, let's say a business photography, he will then also create a page on LinkedIn where he will talk about his photography, also share it on his profile and page. So if you came and asked me, Ritesh, well, do you need two profiles, one for your personal, one for your professional on LinkedIn? No. The answer is, well, LinkedIn is a professional profile. I'm not talking about what I ate last night or who I met last night because that goes on Instagram. But this meeting today, I will post on LinkedIn. So for professional, you just focus on LinkedIn. Any other questions? Questions, anyone? Yes.
Terima kasih soalnya.
So actually we develop a kind of soft skill how to do research using social media, and we roll this month how to crawling the data, and usually the data is from Twitter
Twitter. Yeah.
crawling data
Yeah.
and data analysis, and
Yeah.
how do you think LinkedIn also can we also
No.
use
LinkedIn doesn't allow data crawling. The API is not available. It's only Twitter that allows. So you won't be able to get from LinkedIn. The only thing that you can do on LinkedIn is you can design. So, for example, a project where you might say, and I'm only making up this project now, that you develop a research question and you say to the student, I want you to go and look at photographers on LinkedIn and see what sort of post they are making and then do a sentiment analysis of their posts. But that is a manual task. Yeah, it can't be done. Yeah. But I'm glad you're doing that project because that is something that is of value on at least on Twitter and social media data.
Di Twitter ya.
Yeah,
How
Twitter API.
Instagram?
Now, Meta products, no. So Facebook, Instagram, yeah.
No.
Okay, my name is Aven. My question is, sometimes I feel there are too many distraction on my social media, like Instagram, like TikTok, and etc. That I feel that social media make me more consumptive than rather than productive
Yep.
activity.
Yep.
So I want to ask you, what's your advice for us to be productive rather than consumptive person in social media?
Good question.
Thank you.
Could you do me a favor? Just open Google. Google. Yeah, any stuff on anything. I will give you something to read also. I will give the response, but so type my name RITESH. RITESH and CH. So yeah, it's come up here. Yeah, yeah. Choose that. And type here e-fasting. E. Yeah, after my name. E-fasting. Fasting. Yep, enter. And news. Go to news. News. Yeah, click. So remember you said we feel we're wasting time sometimes?
Yes, yes.
How to be productive? My phone. So I will give you example. You see lots of apps. Can you see WhatsApp? Can you see, where's my Facebook gone? Interesting. Okay, I will give you an example. Because someone's just, sorry, because I just want to, I want to show you an example and then you read this article, right? You see my Facebook there?
Yes.
You see WhatsApp? So when you usually get a message on WhatsApp or Facebook, what happens? No, but there is also a red dot that comes here.
Yes.
Okay. You see messages?
Yeah.
Do you see a red dot?
No.
No.
Do you see a red dot on Facebook?
No.
You see those messages here?
Yes, a lot.
So I turn my notifications off.
Oh.
Social media is addictive. That's what that article says. You can read it later. So when I say addictive, social media wants to pull you towards it. For me, I don't want to get pulled. So I turn my notifications off. So social media for me is not pull. Sorry, it's not push. That means social media is not pushing information to me. I pull it when I want to. That means when I am ready, when I have the time, then I open my Facebook or WhatsApp and then go and check the message. Because the moment we get that red icon, you know what that small red icon when you get a message? It's a way to say, open me, open me. So I've turned that off. I have that off. There is research that says the red symbol. There is in chemistry, there is a chemical called dopamine. So dopamine induces an effect I have turned that off because I don't want that effect. So to answer, I think you have to find your balance of how much time. You can also, as you know, we all sometimes spend time mindlessly on social media, right? Before we realize, so when someone asks you to study, and if you have to study 1 hour, you feel tired. But you spend 1 hour on social media, it flies quickly, right?
Yes, yes.
So that's why you have to find your right balance. That's the only way of being productive, because otherwise, what social media, it's designed to suck you in. It's the same post that will keep appearing on your feed every time. So you have to find your balance, and you say, well, I'm going to spend 10 minutes on, or 15 minutes, or 20, or 30 minutes. And that's about it. So you set yourself a target. That's what I've talked about in this article and those notifications that I showed you. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question?
Any education before we close? I will count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anyone's in the Zoom? No? Gak ada komen ya Zoom? Gak ada ya? Okay, so I will assume that you guys are fine. So I think now we can close the session. But then before that, allow me to summarize some stuffs, which I truly understand that you guys already gained so much more than what I can say. Tapi mungkin kalau misalkan boleh disummarize sedikit, teman-teman tidak ada salahnya untuk memulai sekarang untuk personal branding, karena kalau misalkan mau mulainya dari lulus baru, it's too late. Gitu kan. Dan ini akan sangat membantu, kayak nyicil aja gitu loh. Kalau kalian punya tugas, deadline-nya pas kalian lulus gitu kan. Daripada ngerjainnya amburadul pas baru lulus, mendingan cicil aja dari sekarang gitu kan. Ini mumpung lagi datang ke session ini, mungkin bisa mulai di post kayak gitu. Sebetulnya lebih ke ini aja. Tadi ada opportunity dari beliau yang menawarkan kalau misalkan kalian post malam ini, itu bakal dikomen sama beliau. Ya kan? It's an opportunity, take it gitu lah. Jadi itu homeworknya pertama ya, tolong. Ini homeworknya ke aku juga sebetulnya. Gitu. Jadi mari kita kerjakan sama-sama. Karena sebetulnya nothing tulus kan, nggak ada kerugian sama sekali untuk melakukan itu, kecuali karena kita malu aja, kayak gitu kan. Malu, lebih ke malu aja kan gitu ngepost kalaupun nggak terlalu nyaman ngepost diri sendiri, pas foto bareng-bareng pun bisa gitu. Jadi nanti paling foto bareng-barengnya kita sebar ya, kayak gitu. Oke, terus kemudian tadi ada tips-tipsnya juga untuk media sosial, bagaimana cara penyimbangannya. Itu menarik ketika beliau kayak gue nggak pakai Instagram gitu, karena emang I have no need for that gitu. Sama aku juga nggak pakai TikTok, karena kalau buat aku, aduh enggak deh, terlalu banyak hal ya di sana, takut brain rot gitu loh nanti gitu. Iya betul, jadi anak skimidi kan jadinya, aduh susah gitu ya. Mendingan akhirnya filternya ada di kita gitu kali ya gitu. Dan medsosnya sangat-sangat bisa digunakan jauh lebih produktif lagi kayak gitu. Jadi ada yang mau ditambahkan? Enggak? Aman ya? Oke, sampai ketemu kalau gitu di kelas maupun workshop lainnya. Labsos masih digarap sebetulnya karena lagi nungguin kan ya gitu. Jadi supaya anak-anaknya pun juga tidak sebegitu hektiknya di kehidupan ini. Jadi untuk kedepannya masih akan ada workshop maupun acara-acara lainnya. Ya Julita, ya Ismi dan teman-teman lainnya. Jadi mohon ditunggu dan tolong partisipasinya. Aku tahu di sini ada fokus juga. Jadi enjoy ya teman-teman. Terima kasih banyak sekali lagi. Setelah ini kita foto bareng. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay. Sir, anyway. Oh ya, sama ibu ya. Okay, so there's a token of appreciation from our Bu Dekan. Oh.
We stand here. Yes. So you get the background.
Yes.
Yeah. Ya udah. Foto. Ya. Oh, okay. Yeah, after this. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Oke, nah. Oh, ibu dulu. Nah. Yes, we take a group photo. Sir, because they want to post, but then like showing only their face is something that they still feel embarrassed. So that's why. Yeah, that's fine. But then it's just like that's why they want to use the photo documentation, the photo group.
Okay.
Yeah, to post. But then you can talk about that.
See, you don't have to be reluctant about posting your faces. There's nothing wrong. Are you doing anything wrong? Is the question you need to ask yourself. Culturally, also, it's not wrong, right? I know. I mean, I understand so much of the culture now that it's not wrong. You got your. So when I say you're already wearing your headscarf, which is part of your cultural attire. Apart from that, you're not doing anything wrong at all. So when you want to make yourself known, don't worry about what the other world is thinking. You focus on how you want to improve. Remember, when he finds a job, he's not going to give her the money, right? It's his money. So he has to ensure that he does all the right things to find the job. So every one of you is responsible for finding and building your own career. No one will build it for each other. Yes, we are all friends. We're studying now, but everyone's for themselves. So you have to take your career in your hand. And I think social media is a good way to try and grow that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oke, kalau takut foto muka sendirian, foto pas lagi bareng-bareng juga nggak apa-apa, ya kan? Kayak less intimidating that way. Oke, mari maju teman-teman supaya kita bisa berfoto. Siapa di antara kita yang HP-nya bagus siapa? Anak Labsos yang HP-nya bagus siapa? Kameranya ya, mohon maaf supaya boleh. Anak-anak anak adopsi kita ya ini ya. Oh ya, siapa yang mau ngambil ya? Ayo, come. Ya siapa yang mau ngambil? Kita. Dia mau ikutan pakai HP kamu tapi dia mau ikutan ya. Buat semuanya sih. Jadi iya, boleh. Kasih dong. Ayo maju. Irgi ikutan, Irgi. Ya. Kalau gitu HP-nya dikasih Irgi, Jelita ikutan. Nggak tahu nih, orang. Yes. Ayo. Agak ngumpul di depan, boleh. Aku nanti ke depan juga, nggak apa. Di bawah. Ayo. Nah, mantap. Come. Ayo. Supaya bisa diambil. Boleh? Oh. Muat nggak ya? Muat ya?
So we look at one camera.
Alright. Ini.
Now next camera. There.
Yes.
White camera there. White camera.
Oke.
Wah. Gue ke atas kamera. Oke. Thank you. Terima kasih banyak juga ya. Banyak. Apa? Kita ke depan aja. Yes, makasih banyak. Oke, makasih banyak ya teman-teman. Semoga kuliahnya lancar-lancar, sehat-sehat. Amin. Betul. Dan supaya nanti pas lulus langsung bisa mendapat pekerjaan. Amin. Amin paling serius. Oke. Dadah. Kalau ada yang mau pulang, silakan. Terima kasih ya. Semangat fokus. Ai. Apa ya? Sebetulnya beres-beres aja. Okay. For our Zoom participants, thank you so. Oh yeah. For our Zoom participants. For our Zoom participants, you guys can leave now. So thank you so much for joining us. Well, some of you are my students in my Friday class. So see you on Friday. Don't forget your homework. Bye-bye. Woohoo! Yeah.
This is the professor at UIN Jakarta from October to October.
October 2?
October to next October.
Next October.
We can still invite King's presence.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. You will, as you will, you know,
Yeah.
you will manage.
Yeah.
Because he is the head of social lab, social.
Okay.
So we
Sure. Yeah,
this
yeah.
kind of
Yeah, I mean, I present on a lot of topics. Communication. So I do professional communication as well for ICT students. So, for example, how to do presentations. You know, when people were talking about introverts, well, I think the topic is how to present, which is important.
Yeah.
When people go for interviews, they don't know how to talk.
Yeah.
So there's lots of areas that I can help.
Yeah. True. You want?
The picture.
Oh yeah. Okay.